We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, Snacky Tunes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday on a Monday, and we're in the back of Roberta's in a hollowed-out shipping container. That means it's Snacky Tunes on heritageradionetwork.com. I'm one half a finger on the pulse, Terry Diabolic. That was just DJ Never Forget getting it started. Very, very awesome show today. We have Fool's Gold in the shipping container live, and Menachem Lubinsky from the Kosher Fest. Never Forget, how you doing?
I'm good. And just to make it very simple, it's Fool's Gold the band.
Fool's Gold the band.
Fool's Gold. Lewis, why don't you say hi? Step in here.
What up? It's Lewis here. Fool's Gold.
Lewis.
Hey guys, so let me just say thank you so much to everyone who came out this weekend to Hope Lounge to help celebrate, remember the beautiful life of Craig Murphy, the hummus cook-off was
I don't know if it's a cook-off. Blend-off?
Mashup was a huge success. Big shout out to Jim. Thank you so much for organizing that.
And Kathy Irway.
Whose Cheap Date show will be...
I think it's moving to Mondays.
Moving to Mondays at 1.
12:30.
1.
We'll figure it. Time to be announced.
Figure on the Pulse, known for their facts and fact-checking.
Yeah, and their...
diction and dictionaries. Also, a big shout out to everyone who helped. Alix, Lissa,
we're close.
I can't name all my friends, but
by the way, if you weren't there, we are still a little short of raising money for the Craig Murphy Fellowship Post. And if you want to donate, you can either write us at music@fo2pnyc.com, or you can just Google the New York City Coalition Against Hunger, and you'll be able to donate. And even $10 helps.
Even $10. We're still we did a good job of our goal, but we're still a little short. Also, big shout out to Heritage Radio for up in the stream. Everyone's writing in saying that it's working. So
hey-o.
And also, Jack Inslee, Rec Tech, our producer and engineer, and also BrooklynLarder.com and Franny'sBrooklyn.com. Great food. great prices, great people.
And they support us.
They support us.
So we support them.
It's full circle. The smallest full circle
Yeah.
we've ever done on
maybe,
this show.
Maybe like 100-foot radius, if that. So, first off, I'd like to say, hey, weather. Hey, fall. Thanks for showing up.
Oh, hey, fall.
So when we...
Wait.
Hold on a second. We live in a commercial building, and they...
Maybe.
Maybe we live there.
Depends who's asking.
Depends who's asking. But the in my room this summer, there's like a vent. There's just like a pipe that used to be, I don't know, exhaust or something, and you can actually see the sky from there. So while we were kind of doing renovations and building it out this summer,
story.
hold on a second. I just want to say that I could see the sky, and they're like, "Well, you'll get rained on." And in the summer, I'm like, "Oh, that's my only concern. I won't get rained on." Now, when the weather dropped to about 50 degrees and I have a circle of air blowing on me at night, my concern is not so much rain as freezing my butt off. I mean, like 3 blankets, a comforter, a hoodie, socks last night. So, I guess the advice I have to say to all those people who do small renovations, it's think for all seasons. Like, I don't care if that window's sealed. Like we put an air conditioner in, and they're like, that's probably going to have to stay in there year round. I was like, whatever. And now it's like, and now there's just like cracks. And we got nothing to do with the air. We don't have any room for it. You're bored.
I am.
I mean,
It's funny.
Isn't this what radio's about? Like,
No, because we had a game plan.
what was the plan? I forgot.
You
That's
did.
the problem.
You forgot.
What was the plan?
So this weekend we checked out a new bar around the corner.
Oh, that's right.
called The Woods. And
Well, hold on a second. We need to step back.
No,
We need-
I was again week to week. DJ Never Forget, known for wrecking my flow. So if you remember from our first week,
That's what I was gonna
we
say.
talked about our favorite burrito cart, and our favorite burrito cart was on
North 3rd and Bedford.
between North Third and
ish.
Metropolitan.
And then one day,
Gone.
just gone. And not only that, it was weird. That day was gone, and Endless Summer, which is like the big burrito talk show, was also gone. And I was like, maybe it's fall, and it's just like the end of burrito. I mean, it's Endless Summer, but maybe actually summer has an end, and that's why it left. And then those burrito people just kind of moved into. I don't know. But then Endless Summer came back, and I was like, I guess it's gone. So anyway, last week we ran into our friend Kevin, who used to do Royal Oak with us and Brandon, and they're like, hey man, I'm working at The Woods. And so we go there, and they're like, oh, and then we meet the owner. And he's like, I got a burrito cart in the back. And I was like, I already ate. Cut to a week later, Sam, who's the chef of our show, is like, oh man, so I was at this place called The Woods, and I had the best burrito of my entire life. And I was like, that's such a bummer, because I used to have this great burrito place, but I'm looking for a new burrito place. And he started telling us about it, and I was like, that sounds real familiar. It's like, did they have anywhere else? He's like, yeah, they used to be on North 3rd and Bedford. So there it is. So
Hey,
but
full
there's-
circle number 2.
Full circle number 2. Well, I guess if you're just like a street cart, you can't like we moved locations. There's no stop. There's no like sign or anything in the window. So, but what's great is now they have a home, which is fantastic. So if you want to get what we think is the best street burrito, in Brooklyn,
because I have my Manhattan.
we'll say in Brooklyn, it's at The Woods, which is on South 4th and Wythe. Plus the bar is rad, good music, and they do pickleback shots too. Have you ever had that?
No, what's that?
It's like pickle juice. Apparently, they're pickle connoisseurs
Uh-huh.
because there's a connoisseur for everything.
Of course.
Because we're in the modern age, and everybody is like, it's like, yeah, my pickle blog has like 5,000 followers, but with a shot of whiskey, you get pickleback.
Pickle.
It's good. It's good. I know.
Whiskey and pickle? I guess that makes sense.
I
I
mean,
can see vodka and pickle, maybe.
I mean, I can almost see anything because I mean,
Misty.
it's just such a different flavor.
Yeah, right.
So
Anyway, so
but anyway, so I mean, the great burrito mystery of maybe 10 days, and like that was like, huh, I wonder where they went, but not really thinking about it, has been solved.
I'm going to say this right now. I'm giving the start of the show maybe a 6. We're going to take it to a 10 because we got Menachem, Lubinsky of Kosher Fest coming up next, and we got Fool's Gold the band dropping a set for us.
Few sets.
Few
Louis
sets.
is going to talk about what it's like to be in like a super hot shit band.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
trying to figure it out still.
So stay tuned.
And also, we're going to throw you one extra because we're going to amp up this thing. We're going to give you a little bit of a CMJ 2009 preview because it's coming up this week. Get you listen to Snacky Tunes on heritageradionetwork.com. Coming at you live from Roberta's. Never forget what you got for us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Snacky Tunes on heritageradionetwork.com. That was just the new Russ Chimes remix, never forget.
Yeah, Marina and the Diamonds. Thank you to the person that passed it to me. I don't want to say the name because I might get in trouble.
We won't say the names,
But thanks for passing it. It's that's Russ Chimes. And speaking of Russ Chimes, we are DJing a party with him and famous friends Saturday, November 14th at the Space on 8th.
It's gonna be awesome. Big shout out to famous friends.
Yeah, they really were instrumental in putting it together. And the best part is it's a recession-esque party because if you come before 11:30, it's free. And after that, it's just $10 with RSVP.
Only $10.
Well, $10.
I got a tenner
I got 10
for Saturday night.
Take your girl out.
Awesome. Well, speaking of recessions, one of the biggest trends right now in I would say ethnic food is a decline in Jewish delis. A few weeks ago, the New York Times reported that the only thing that isn't lean in this time of kosher food is the corned beef. But those things are about to change because coming up October 27th and 28th in Secaucus, New Jersey, the Meadowlands Exposition Center is Kosher Fest. And on the phone with us, we have Menachem Lubinsky, who is the founder of this Kosher Fest. Menachem, are you there?
I am.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. It's our pleasure. We grow up with a very strong influence of kosher and Jewish cuisine in our house, and I think a lot of people who aren't used to it don't really understand the wide range and like the delicious treats that kosher food has to offer. And we were hoping that you could maybe talk about the current and future state of kosher food and what Kosher Fest is all about.
Well, Kosher Fest is the world's only kosher food trade show, a show that is specifically designed for the trade. There are more than 300 exhibitors from around the world showcasing some of the newest kosher products. Now, there are almost 120,000 products sold in the United States that have some form of kosher certification. If the United States sells about $550 billion worth of food, close to 300 billion of that is kosher certified, whether it's Coca-Cola or deli, as you mentioned. So this is the definitive gathering held every year where members of the industry gather, see what's new, and there are close to about 500 new products at every show. And many of these products eventually turn up on supermarket shelves.
Now, can you speak about some of the new products coming out?
Well, for example, this year, in the new product competition, which is traditionally held a few weeks before Kosher Fest, the best new product was Asian noodles. Noodles are very important. They were always part of the chicken soup and always used to make all kinds of puddings in the Jewish cuisine. And here was not the traditional old-time thin noodles that people were used to, but actually an Asian noodle that was of good quality, microwavable, or can be just put in with hot water for the convenience-oriented market. This is a product that will absolutely be a blessing and a new twist in the cuisine. So that's like one example. A lot of the products that we see today, the new products, and that goes not only for kosher but for new products in general. And it just so happens to be that the Mintel Research Organization says that each year the products with the most dominant claim are kosher. Something like 5,000 products each year have a kosher symbol. So these new products are not really what you would call the new products in that they're so new that no one ever either tasted that kind of product. They are usually variations of products that we have come to know and love. Sure.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that, a lot of people who aren't, who don't really know kosher food sort of associate kosher food being Jewish, but what you're saying, like, that isn't really the case anymore, that a lot of foods that have nothing to do with like Jewish culture, things like that, are actually kosher.
Exactly that. Almost every major brand today, that whether it's Darin yogurt or Coca-Cola or Kellogg's cornflakes or whatever you can pick on, has a kosher symbol. And the reason for that is because at some point in the last 50 years, many of these companies took the position that they wanted to market to a very growing, dynamic community that was very brand loyal, and the only thing that they needed to do was to have a kosher symbol. And also, many of these companies use that also as another quality message that crossed over not only to the traditional people who kept kosher, but to many consumers who are not your most traditional consumers.
So if we're going to Kosher Fest, is there something that we should be looking for? Some special type of activity, or is it mostly booths? Are there lectures or educational series as well?
Well, there are educational programs, but the booths are kind of like a very a diverse mix of what the kosher food industry represents. You still have your mom and pops with some of the deli products that you mentioned, but then you also have some of the newer products, the sushi, the variations of various meats, the spelt free, the move towards more healthier products, and in almost every category, in the snack food category, in the pastry category, in meats, it's just kind of like an eye opener to see that an industry that used to be associated with gefilte fish, chopped liver, and stuffed cabbage has gone that far afield from where it originally started.
So as Terry mentioned, we grew up on a Sunday tradition of corned beef, New York potato chips, and fresh rye bread. And I'm curious for you, as you know, one of the founder of this, what your like go-to kosher deli staple is, like your perfect type of order.
Yeah, well, in the last 50 years, we've also seen a major shift away from the mom pops, the kosher butcher stores, the small delis, the small grocery stores, to the supermarkets. Now, in fact, the supermarkets have contributed tremendously to the growth of kosher. Almost every major supermarket chain in the United States is now plugged in one way or the other to kosher. Deli is a very important part of those stores that have specific kosher food sections or have kosher food stores within their stores. There are upward of some of like 300 stores in the United States that do that. We now have a major development in that the discount houses like the Costco's and the Targets of the world and the Sam's Clubs have also now bought in very much into kosher, so that a customer can now go to almost every venue that they're used to shopping and pick up the traditional kosher products. Of course, it might be easier to get a greater variety in the Northeast or in New York than it would be in some of the outlying communities, and there are certainly a lot available online today. But the opportunities for shopping kosher and the number of products today, and I've been there almost from the beginning, is almost mind-boggling.
What about the recent trend of gourmet and locally sourced kosher food? Will that be featured at this Kosher Fest?
Yes. I mean, I think in the last 10 years we've seen a definite shift into the gourmet area. There's been somewhat of a cross-fertilization between the popularity of organic and natural and associating that with kosher. A lot of the products that we traditionally knew as a plain food became fancy foods, whether it's a pastry or whether it's a meat product. And yes, the upscaling of kosher has very much been on course, and to my surprise, it has held up even during these times of the recession.
Awesome. Well, Menachem, thank you very much. Is there anything else you would like to add about Kosher Fest for anyone who's interested in checking it out?
Well, if you're a member of the trade, meaning that you're in the food industry, you'd be surprised what kind of products you could find and bring it into your general store, because the kosher food industry does produce today quality products, different products that every American consumer would be interested in.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking to us.
You're very welcome.
If you're interested, please go to kosherfest.com. That's KOSHERFEST.com. It'll be taking place at the Meadowlands Exposition Center in Secaucus, New Jersey, this October 27th and 28th. It's going to be great. Bring a big stomach and an open mind. It's really some amazing food. Up next, we have Fool's Gold, the band, dropping a couple DJ songs for us, getting us ready for the CMJ feel and vibe. Snacky Tunes, heritageradionetwork.com.
Batinda kayonde misondo banda
All right, ladies and gentlemen, in honor of CMJ, we are very happy to be joined by Fool's Gold, the band, Snacky Tunes.
What up?
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
Are you excited?
Oh yeah, I'm stoked.
Big week, right?
Yeah, you know it's funny. We've been here for a week already. We've already played 5 shows.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy.
Wait, hold on. I'm just going to say, 5 shows, and how many are you playing this week?
With only 2. So there's one official CMJ show.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
For now, you never know.
For now. For those of people who don't know, give us like the 20-second version
Of the backstory.
of the backstory. We can give it a bit longer.
All right. Well, we started like 4 years ago, just as like a real loose knit organic jam. We would play in backyards, barbecues, parks in Echo Park in Los Angeles, where we're from. And we're just in different bands, and we're just doing it for fun, and it's been really loose. And then I kind of recorded the album, and then someone finally said, "Hey, let's put the record out." And then now all of a sudden here we are with the record out and like 12 people playing music, and now we're trying to get legit on it.
Well, I mean, pretty legit. I mean, the label's I Am Sound.
I Am Sound's a cool label.
And we played you guys, I think, 2 months ago on our Tijuana show.
Oh,
right. And to be honest, and this is not like ego, like, hey man, like, but of all the times we've had guests, and when I played your song, the guys who were here, and for other shows, you were one of the few tunes who were like, who is this?
Oh, that's cool. That's
Which I
good
was
to
like,
hear.
and the only reason why it stuck with me, I was like, never really happens, and this is probably a good look. And you know, the record is great.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much.
I mean,
it's fun. I think it's a good fall record.
I think it's a good fall record.
End of
too.
summer, into fall.
You know, that's the funny thing is everybody kept saying, "Oh, it's the summer record that didn't come out to the end of summer." And you know, for us in LA, it was 100 degrees yesterday.
Dude, it was like I was
so.
talking to my friend yesterday. I'm sitting there as check regarding earlier the program where I'm like freezing. My friend's like, and she's like, "Oh, off to the beach," and like not like I'm gonna go bundle up. It's like off to the beach, go kick it, get a tan.
Yeah, for sure.
Type situation.
So hopefully you can bring these jams into your February New York City months.
Yeah, maybe, or we can dream about it. It's interesting. Lewis and I just realized that we met each other 4 years ago.
Yep.
Or realized that because
on a really cold night, actually. In
on
Los
a really
Angeles.
cold night for when I used to work at the Plug Awards.
Are you serious?
All these years ago, I booked Foreign Born.
Yeah.
And I can't remember.
You know, all the times you go on the road, you meet all these interesting people, and you leave me at home.
Yeah. Hey man, that was my job. But so I mean, it's kind of interesting because you know. We were talking about before. It's like not like these supergroup type of bands that already have these sounds, and then they get kind of rolled into these other bands. So how is it that you found the Fool's Gold sound, and you know the other guy and Luke in the band, you know, he's Israeli. So how did you two meet? And you know, half the songs are in Hebrew, so it's a very Jewish show today.
Yeah, I know. I just
realized that the show is great.
Super kosher.
Yeah, it's super kosher.
Every once in a while, you got to get into your roots to remember, you know, where the good stuff lies.
So I mean, talk about like the songwriting process. And
For
how
sure, yeah. Well, Luke and I, we've known each other since high school. We both grew up in Los Angeles. And then we were at a wedding, honestly, like 4 years ago in Weed, California, in Northern California. and we just decided like a shared love for this music, and we're like, we should really. We've been in bands together always. I was played keyboards in his band in college. He played keyboards in my band or did something in my band. We never actually written songs together, and this was the first time where we decided to actually write songs together. And I had all these tracks written actually for the Foreign Born record that came out recently, and then there's extra songs, and I was like, hey Luke, check these out, and he just started singing over them in Hebrew. It just like happened. We didn't even think about it.
Right.
Hebrew is his first language.
Right.
He's lived in America since he was 3.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he was just like, I think he was really liberated to sing in Hebrew in a weird way, and like,
it works.
Yeah, it works in an awesome way.
It works in a really good way where I listened to it and I was like, man, I'm really not picking up on these lyrics. And then the second time I was like, because they're in another language, and I was like, wow, this really it works. It sounds like that's what that's the right language for this music.
It's a lot of the music we're influenced and listened to. Is like it's sung in a foreign language. So for us, it was like really easy.
What was that track that you
we were
played?
just listening to Mbila Bell. She was a super hit, big famous singer in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, formerly known as Zaire. That was like a hit song in 1983. A 12-minute long hit song.
Obviously.
A little bit different taste in
Exactly.
But, so can I ask?
Yeah.
Well, you are asking.
Okay. Well, so that was my first question. Can I ask?
Yes. You may.
Follow up. Looking down the barrel of CMJ
Yeah.
with a band that you've been in for 4 years, and now it's the Heat.
Yeah.
With Eyes on You, CMJ, what's that feeling like? Like, what's it like to be the band, to be one of the bands that's being talked about at the festival?
Well, not even that. I mean, let's just heap the pressure on. Time Out New
I
York
know.
gave you like Time Out New York. The only show to see is the Wednesday
I'm not
midnight
gonna
show
lie.
of Bowery.
That blew my mind.
Yeah.
Honestly, like we've just been doing it for so long, and it's such a good time that I don't even feel the heat. We're used to the heat, like we've been bringing the heat for a while. That I don't feel any pressure. It's incredible, and that's what's beautiful about this band. Is I've been in bands before where I felt like pressures, and like this one, it just rolls off our backs because we just do what we do, and we love it, and it's always
Maybe
a
that's what it
blast.
takes.
You have to. Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I think
Because
like,
you see all these bands that sort of just like they get spotlight, they implode.
Yeah, like, and they push too hard, and they're trying to be something, and like we're just doing what we do. Like I love to play guitar and jam songs for 10 minutes, and that's just what we do. You know, like it's incredible. People actually like it finally.
It's funny. Back in when we used to go to like ABC No Rio and all our shows, there's this band that I fell in love with called City of Caterpillars, and they're like, and we saw them. I saw them in like
ABC No Rio
in January in Philly, and then I saw them again in March, and they're like, this is our last show. And I was like, but like they announced a crowd, and I was like, that's really weird because they like, just went, they're really great. And then I was walking by, like being like a young kid listening, and some guy's like, man, what the fuck happened to you guys? And the guy goes, Europe.
Oh no!
And I was like, and these guys, were great, and they had a great record and everything. And then I was like, oh man, like sometimes it's just, it takes a lot. Especially, I mean, you got 12 members.
Yeah.
So how do you?
What's the dynamic?
Yeah, what's the dynamic in that sense?
Well, it's a crazy dynamic. What actually is a good dynamic is that because we've had 12 members and sometimes 15, sometimes 10 over the years, it's been like a party. It's like when you show up to rehearsal, there's so many of your friends there that you like kind of forget about all the weird social pressures and like individual beef you might have with someone for a moment being in a band, because it's just like a community of friends, and it's been really awesome. And now that we're touring and whatnot, we kind of whittled it down to like 7 people, and it was just basically whoever wanted to stay in. Like we gave them a choice. Like, are you gonna go on the road and stop what you're doing?
You're gonna be a band.
Yeah. Are you gonna? Is your heart really in it? And then so I can't believe 8 people said yes.
Well,
which is even.
I mean, if you play music and Time Out saying you got the heat.
Well, the crazy thing is this is way before Time Out. This
okay.
Is, but
okay.
like, which is thank God actually, because I would prefer to have people do it for the right reason.
Right.
It's like all of a sudden it's like that guy who played Triangle for us in year one.
For sure.
He wants back in.
He wants back in,
Exactly.
and he wants
the 15%. He wants the 15% cut.
But it's funny. It's
on
funny.
the revenue.
It's
not
funny
even on
you
the profit.
talk about that, because when we had Sharon Jones, we interviewed them for Dinner with the Band. We asked them the same thing about group dynamics, and they said it's actually sometimes easier to be in a much bigger band, because if you're having beef with like one guy, there's 4 other people for you to hang out with.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'll see you on stage and like, let's just chill for a week. If it's, I mean, if it's like a 2-piece or 3-piece, it's just you and another guy in a van just going like, I
for
hate
sure.
you, I hate you, I hate you.
And it's easier to squash beef when there's other people there somehow. Like we just like remember it's about the collective. Somehow like it's something magical that's been taking place for like 3 years, which I'm like blessed. That,
Now that we've talked, we're like knocking on wood.
I know, big time.
So I think we're gonna have you play a few more
Sure,
songs.
sure.
I mean, we've only got like 25 minutes left, so we'll probably get like 1.5 tracks in.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, he was riffing on the length of those songs you like.
Yeah. Well, it's called building on a show.
So wait, and quickly remind us where the big show is this week. The official show.
The official show is on Wednesday at the Bowery Poetry Club.
I understand. It's like Telepathy's playing.
Telepathy's
Wait a
playing.
second.
Suckers are playing.
Hold on.
Stop.
That's like the tiniest venue.
I know,
It's
it's
going to
crazy.
be okay. Let me say this now. Get in line as soon as Snacky Tunes is over.
Yeah.
So you can get in. Don't go before Snacky Tunes is over because we might have some secret things we want to say. But wow.
Yeah. We're playing tomorrow night. Oh wait, no, tonight, Monday night at the Knitting Factory in Brooklyn.
Oh,
I
Great
guess they
venue.
moved, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is it better than the one that was in Manhattan?
shoot, we have to DJ tonight.
It's different because it's only one room. Well, it's 2 rooms, but it's only like one. I mean, the old Knitting Factory was awesome.
The sound
Right.
is great though. Let's Have You Fav played there. If we went to go see them, and one of the dudes from Skinny Puppy. Was there
Oh,
a
wow,
few weeks
awesome.
ago? It was like a Thursday night, and I saw some like 40-year-old woman dressed in leather in her SUV, being like, "No, how do I get back over the bridge?" And I was like, "Wow, you know." Okay.
We played a really cool place last night called Sycamore, the Sycamore in
Yeah,
Ditmas Park.
I've never heard. Yeah, Paul. I was with Paul.
Also very tiny.
That's
but
Ditmas Park.
yeah, which was
What is that? The R train to Nowheresville?
I know I'd never heard of it.
Was it?
you know,
Was
not
it?
being
Was
from
people out?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was like a sauna. It was in the basement. Also, it was a very small room, but it was really, like intimate. Like that's what we're intimate, like dance vibes. Like
Sunday night with that type of weather, packed.
It was
basement?
awesome. It was great. Sweaty, very sweaty.
Oh man.
It was great.
All right, so why don't you play a couple tunes for us?
Okay, cool.
Bring you back and talk about CMJ. And
Oh, and also again, big shout out to our sponsors, Brooklyn Larder. That's BKLYNLARDER.com and Franny'sBrooklyn.com. Great food, great people.
Snacky Tunes with Finger on the Pulse. Fool's Gold, the band.
What up?
Take it away.
Come لا إله إلا الله 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 كون عود اسمعنا قلنا زاد تصانا والشود ما قطر كانها ما قطر كانها في الدار كون المولانا والشود ما قطر كانها
All right.
Yeah.
You're listening to Snacky Tunes. We're your host, Figure on the Pulse. We have Lewis from Fool's Gold. in
What
here. Who were those last two tunes?
The first one was Group Douay. They're from the Western Sahara, and that was Miriam Hussein, also from the Western Sahara, which is a crazy country that's south of Morocco, above Mauritania. It's been a disputed state for a while.
So it's interesting, as we sit here and listen to you say that this music is pretty punk rock, and I think that our listeners would enjoy your take on like why you consider this music to be a punk rock type of vibe.
Yeah, you know, like it's this the punk spirit. It might not sound like the Ramones, but you know, these people who are like living in this desert, you know, like, and they're just playing this music, and it's full on emotion, like like hindered emotion. They just let it out, and it's at the top of their lungs. And a lot of this music, these people were playing traditional instruments, and they got into like electric guitars, and they're just doing crazy shit with these electric guitars, and it's like really raw. There's no one telling them what to do at all.
Right.
And it's recorded in the rawest spaces, you know, like one microphone, and it's like this crazy empty room with like crazy bright white neon lights on them, you know, like.
That's insane. I mean, and you said your dad got you into this music?
Yeah, I grew up listening to a lot of world music, which is awesome. You know, my dad's a crazy character. was like a hippie in the 60s and 70s. He was like a drug dealer. Like they lived in Barbados. my
If you whisper it, but it's recorded on the radio, people are still going to be able to hear that.
Also,
So-
just he sort of shrugged his shoulders and lifted his hands up and tilted his head. So it's
it's disputed. He told me he was in commerce.
Oh.
But they like lived in Barbados in the 70s, and my dad moved to LA in hopes of being a reggae record producer.
Oh.
And you can't just become a reggae record producer. I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen, especially in Los Angeles. That might be an ignorant comment, but
Well, I guess
I'm gonna chalk it up to ignorance.
Okay.
Do you know? Do you know anything to back up the fact that you just said? The answer is no.
no.
Moving on.
Caught. Anyway, so you are in town for CMJ Week.
Yeah.
Which is very exciting. Time, like we said, Time Out New York, the show to watch. And a nice write up.
Yeah.
It's nice to get some awards back, but you guys are only playing an official show on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we also have some picks for shows to see.
Yeah, let's hear your picks.
So we are actually DJing tonight at Santos with Washed Up, which we got booked on, and I'll be honest and not plead ignorance. I don't know a lot about the band, but I do know the people at Santos, and you can always tell when it's exciting when you're just sitting at home working and someone you haven't heard from was like, "Hey man," and I just cut out like, "Do you need listeners tonight?" It's like they're like, "Oh, it's like, dude, I haven't heard from you in like 2 months."
Yeah. Here.
Like email blast goes out. 10 minutes
Wait
later,
for it.
wait 10 minutes. It's just like, "Hey guy."
I love it. The email box goes up, and also on top right corner screen, IM pops up. Hey man, you there? It's like, yes. What do you need? It's fine. Here's a trick. Write us more than once every 2 months. We're pretty lenient with list.
Yeah. Anyway, I actually think everyone that wrote us
Anyway,
got to go.
also,
So that's not.
I mean, fixed. Let's be honest.
Well,
Fixed-
I was gonna go down the week. So like if people are gonna counter, so like fix is Wednesday. There's like it's Tuesday. It's since the creation of calendars, it's gone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Are we still using the
Yeah.
Roman?
So Tuesday
Greek
night,
Roman? Okay.
there's the Devcoat record label party called Blue Burgers, which Travis, who used to work at IARC Comics, now works over there, put together, and it's Justine D, who was on the show last week.
And if you want to check out her podcast, just go to iTunes Store and search Snacky Tunes with a Y. That's Snacky Tunes. And all of our podcasts are there, including the one with the lovely and adorable Justine D.
Slip that right in.
If you keep
I know.
talking about my transitions, no one is going to understand how perfect my flow is.
Anyway, so it's us, Acid Girls, who are some of the best guys ever from LA homies.
Yeah.
Dave P, who is part of Fixed, which they're throwing a party on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. Friday party's not announced yet, but Wednesday
Stay
and
tuned.
Thursday is with Aeroplane DJ set and Parallel.
Is Airplane not doing it?
It's not live. It's just a DJ set.
Not even live bass?
Stop it. Maybe live bass. Actually, they did live bass this
Because they did
summer.
live bass this summer.
So
if you haven't seen Airplane DJ, they're from Paris. Their Au revoir Simone remix
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
And Au revoir Simone will be guests in 2 weeks. We're doing well here. How we do? Okay. Wednesday's Fool's Gold Showcase.
Yep.
Also, it's the Fool's Gold label beginning of the 2-day party, which is really good. Vega's playing that. Treasure Fingers is playing that. You can find that online. And also Wednesday night, I believe at Arrow Bar, 20 Jazz Funk greats are doing their party, and DeLorean, who is DeLorean. What?
I'm already stressed that I can't see everything.
This is how it goes, because you just go, because like Monday, Tuesday is really easy, and then Wednesday starts happening. Wednesday, DeLorean is playing, and DeLorean, who we will play at the end of the show, I think that I'm going to go and say it's a finger on the pulse band to see. Because Time on New York already gave it to you guys, so we got to spread the love.
No, definitely.
DeLorean, they're a Spanish group, and I can only say they write pop songs in a 90s house music vibe.
Perfect.
So I'm ready. So is that Thursday Fixed, and Yacht is playing at Brooklyn Bowl for the DFA showcase. It's only $5 too.
That's on Thursday as well?
Yeah, that's on Thursday, and it's like James Murphy's DJing, Yacht's playing, a bunch of other things. Friday, Friday and Saturday. Friday and Saturday, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Actually, Saturday night, we are DJing the Top Man show with Almighty Defenders, who is King Kong the Barbecue, and Black Lips,
Oh, well.
plus Neon Indian, and it's both of their first official New York shows.
How do you keep all these names in your head?
Dude, it's that's my job. Literally, it's like, you know how
Doing it.
how actors are like, they get paid to look pretty. I like get paid to remember this stuff. But like if you ask me on Monday what I did last week, I'm like, I just don't. I'm coming into it, I'm fine. Going out of it, it's all emptied out for the next week because I'll be like, oh yeah, there's so and so this week and then such and such. So that's our CMJ pick, and I'm exhausted about that. And you're right. I'm just exhausted talking about it. I mean,
it's unbelievable. And every year,
and then there's like this. Oh,
every
and there's
year-
the Stereo Gum showcase tomorrow night.
Oh my God.
There's like Brooklyn Vegan is doing 7. You want to talk about Brooklyn Vegan doing 7 parties?
Oh wow.
7 parties.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
I
we're-
just have to remember the parties. I don't even have to go to all of them. Dude, like they're
it's
organized.
crazy. And every year, everyone laments like the week before. Oh, CMJ. Oh, nothing's going on. And then you sit down and you go, oh my god,
Too much
Look at the
choice.
calendar.
too much.
People don't
choice.
like that much choice.
Exactly.
People don't like that choice. So the only other thing I guess to talk about before we play music is that we are continuing this summer. Since you weren't here, you were in LA, chilling,
Hanging.
playing tropical beats.
Exactly.
We did a summer barbecue series. We had Prime Meats on there, Calexico, who Sam Mason was on there, and why am I forgetting an Egg. And we are continuing into a fall dinner series
Oh.
at a secret location, 25 seats, and the first one is going to be Brooklyn Brewery, which is like our kick-ass total local brewery, and Prime Meats from this summer because we love them and they're wonderful. And it's a 25-seat secret location, 6-course
location.
6-course paired menu with Brooklyn Brewery. A little bit more expensive than
Now
the
we're
$5.
talking.
A little bit more expensive than $5 barbecue, and we have I think like 5 seats left.
Maybe 10.
Maybe no.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Okay, so
People
maybe
running.
5 seats left.
So if you're
but
interested,
you never know.
you never know.
We,
If you're
we
interested-
might bump it to 30.
if we can figure out things. But if you're interested, write us music at fotpnyc.com, and we can send you the menu and talk about details. And
Make that one less. Jim's in.
what?
Veebs,
Yeah.
he's taking a seat.
Oh, Jim, take a seat. Now we're down to 4 seats.
Guys, this is how it happens.
This is how it happens.
We tried to keep it under wraps for people who really want to come, but the press is getting out
yeah,
there.
the press is getting written up this week. So if you're listening, this is like the heads up.
Right.
This is like the secret show, but like RSVP before the secret show's announced type thing.
You guys should do CMJ food events. Man, I want
Next
to go to
year.
one of those.
Next year, we
Next
just
year.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I
Man,
mean,
yeah. What would you cook?
Oh, I don't know.
And you got to think about not just you, because you also got like 8 people with you. So
Yeah, right. I don't know. We'd have to cook some 8-person dish. What does it take? What takes 8 people to cook something?
Oh, you mean like you guys would have to cook?
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the way that happens, then like someone does the appetizer, someone. Does
Oh,
the
right.
main dessert. But I mean that was the last thing I wanted to ask before we play. We're gonna close out with a DeLorean song,
Yeah.
and a yacht song.
Right.
Maybe not in that order. But what is it? When you guys go out to eat, as a final question for today's show, as you go out to eat on 8-person, as you're exploring, how do you guys figure out what to do for food?
Food's an interesting question. There's a lot of people, and everybody tries to eat healthy. So there's all sorts of mixed nuts, and kombucha, I think, is basically the vibe for Fool's Gold. I've been in other bands where there's lots of hamburgers, but we've been denied lately. I love a hamburger, though, so
I do.
Anyway,
I'll roll anyway.
So, you're listening to Snacky Tunes, Fool's Gold the band, Bowery Poetry Club
Yep.
this Wednesday. Get there early. I mean, no joke. It's an intimate venue. Probably the last time you get to see him in this smaller venue. But don't forget, it's you versus every 19-year-old from Nebraska and everything that. Oh, let's also not forget Nikki's digital show this Wednesday. Go to nikkidigital.com. Our mustachioed partner in crime, probably throwing a party that is not to be missed. And also, if you haven't been doing it, check out his Wednesday night parties at Ella. They're some of the best weekly parties in the city right now. I'm Terry Diabolic. On the decks is DJ Never Forget. We're fingering on the pulse. Big shout out to Jack Inslee and RecTech for producing and engineering the show. Big shout out to Roberta's for always hooking us up with delicious and tasty treats. Bicklin Larder. That's phonetic, but it's BKLYNLARDER.com. And Franny's FRNNYS Brooklyn.com. Great food, great pizza, just a good time. Join us next week, 2 p.m. Monday, with Holy Ghost, who, holy crap, we're excited for. We'll see you soon.
no one else here. With blossom